to referee in the German league at the time, and they recognized him, and he said, wait a minute, I can't, I got to do something for this guy. So they gave him a job, and how Leo Goldstein got refereeing the FIFA World Cup in 1962, he told FIFA the story, which I just told you. He said, I'll pay his own way, and he went down there, and he was the assistant referee for the Battle of Santiago between Italy and Chile. One of the first New York referees, I think the only one at the moment who actually got to the World Cup. But he did represent the state of Israel, but that's, like I said, that's a different story, but at least he was a member here. Anthony Nobili, FIFA referee in the mid-70s. All I know is from Keith Vance, he was very loyal to this association, and he was able to help out any referee they asked him to help. John DeSalvatore, he was one of the assigners before Consalvo, and he was also dedicated to this association. And Nino, you probably heard stories about John D. Vito, you probably heard stories of John D. As an assigner, he either did his games, and if you were on the you-know-what list, he would send you he would send you from here to Poughkeepsie for a third division game, and he would do it, and you had to do it, or he would really deal with you in a hard way. I met him, like I said, he was also referee liaison for Brooklyn Italians, and he was good. He came to one of our dinners. He was very happy with what he saw. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but he was a great gentleman to work with. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to work with him. But from what I heard, he was an outstanding referee. Next. Gus Constantine, he was a FIFA referee only 1 year in 1984. He did a couple of qualifiers, that was it, but he was a state referee administrator twice for Eastern New York, and he was also a loyal member to this association. And plus, he was also the assigner for the ECAC, which is Third Division College, which is now what the MSRO does. Gino DiPolito.
The pop.
Gino DiPolito was one of the greatest referees this country has had, not this association, this country has ever had. He was loyal to the game of soccer. He enjoyed what he was doing. As you notice, he was one of the full-timers of the original Major Indoor Soccer League and the original North American Soccer League. Gino's number in the old MISL was 2, 5, and even 14. And then he, as you saw in the presentation, he had his name on the back of the uniform. He loved refereeing. He would do a Class A international game one day, and then he would fly back to New York to do an under 8-year-old game when he was on the list. He was loyal. He would come to meetings when he didn't have a game in the Major Indoor Soccer League or even in the NASL. He was always a mentor. I mean, he was a mentor to Jorge Gonzalez.
So he was assessor.
And he was a damn good assessor too. He loved soccer. And he helped me out. He helped Lee out. And if he was, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He's no longer with us, and he died this year. You know, I mean, his son gave me most of his uniforms, but he kept the one with the name on it, and it's like a tribute. But Gino said it best: you can't be me. Be yourself, and that's what I'm emphasizing. Be yourself as a referee. Take from this guy, take from the other, but above all, be yourself and always improve. Never stop learning. FDA.
Yes.
You get Fillets, but
There you go, next.
Jack DeQuila.
Yeah.
He was our last FIFA referee from Eastern New York. All right.
And he was assessor.
He was also an assessor, and he also refereed. He also did some games with me in the USISL, now USL Championship, and plus he was involved with the American Soccer League 3. I'll give you a funny story. One time it was myself, Alan Brown, and Julio Salas. I was the fourth official. Something happened which was crazy. Back then we were allowed to wear long pants. I forgot my shorts. So I had to wear long pants that day. It was game 1 of the ASL soccer. All right, next. John Constantine, he was the first official referee in this country. In fact, he went to the World Cup in China, and he was the first FIFA official ever to do any final. He was a timekeeper. Chip Reed. Unfortunately, Chip is sick. He couldn't be with us tonight. He says hello. Another down-to-earth person who would do any game no matter what.
He's still alive.
And he's still alive.
Barely.
And he's a great help to our current assignment, and he's helped out a lot of people. I mean, he's one of my closest friends.
Horrible driver.
That's a different story. All right.
Brendan
Wright.
Oh,
It's
don't.
that.
is in on people referees.
F4AR. I said F4AR.
Right.
We're doing the assistant referees. All right? Listen, I didn't put this thing there, okay? But anyway, Brenda Wright was a F4AR. FIFA assistant referee. She was also one of the referees in the middle, WUSA. She's also a
Definitely got a
national
picture
assessor.
of that.
Listen up.
And she helped, like I said, she helped a lot of people. I had the honor of working with her. I ran her line. She ran, I in the middle. She ran my line, and she was a good official. And she was also my first instructor as a mentor. So well done. All right, next. Sharon Wheeler from Albany. She was a member here for a couple of years. FIFA. She went to the World Cup in 1999, where the United States hosted it at the last minute because China couldn't do it, and she represented our country well. I had the pleasure of working with her numerous times, local games and pro games like the USLPL, even Leah, she worked with Lee. And she's still alive, and she's up in Albany. Very good official. I even assigned her a couple of WPSL games. She did an outstanding job. Felix Fuchs. Felix refereed a lot of MISL games with Gino DiPolito, and he also refereed the NCAA championship. Felix, like I said, he would referee anything. He also refereed the PSAL high school championship over the years. He was a down-to-earth person, but all these guys were down to earth. And he would help on any referee we need. He would call me for advice. I would call him for advice. And he was a good person to talk to. He's retired from the game altogether, and he's living a nice life with his wife.
Still alive.
Kenny Heller. It's myself, Kenny, and Nino, and Ray Wolf, God bless his soul. We used to do the big games together. I refereed with Kenny Heller in the A-League, where I ran his line. He did middles. And also cup games. I remember we got an assignment literally last minute to go to Philadelphia, and we did it no problem. So, like I said, Kenny today, right now, I don't know where he is, but
It's in Long Island.
he's in Long Island. He's doing games for Long Island. And
One game for me last year.
he did one game for you last year.
But he's a Sheffield Wednesday fan, so.
Oh, by the way, he's also the biggest Bayern Munich fan of all time.
Yep.
Kenny was also one of the VARs in Pro when the VAR came out. And that's all I have about Kenny. Alan Lowe, national referee for 1 year. He did a couple games in the APSL, which is now the USL Championship. And I remember working with him in Flushing Meadow Park 1 year, and the game hit him like deer in the headlights. Let's put it that way. But he survived the game. Alan, like I said, I had the pleasure of working with him at the regionals, and he did a good job. He had to step down in '92 for reasons unknown. Arnold Klein, he was a national referee. Myself, Kenny Hill, Arnold Klein, we went down to Washington, D.C. We had a Washington Stars game versus the Orlando Lions. Like I said, back in those days, the alternate shirt was coming out, but he insisted on wearing black. Orlando was in black, and Orlando said, "Why are you in black?" And Arnold gave some type of answer, and we did the game. And to make a long story short, at the end of the game, we had to escape in a car that the team was trying to give away for somebody kicking the ball into a basketball hoop at halftime. That's an experience I'll never forget. Larry Sarasi was a national referee. He was also a state referee administrator when I joined the association. And unfortunately, he passed away along with his girlfriend over in a boat crash. But he was always looking out for the referees. He always had our best interests in hand. Next. Ernie Constantine, national referee. He just retired this year. He put into retirement. He had a good run. He got one step below pro, but he did some international games, and he always came to our meetings. Alex Macia, is he here?
Sit down.
Your moment, baby.
All right, he's a national assistant referee. I know me and Alex may have some differences, but he did the PSL final, outstanding job.
What difference there?
No, that was never a penalty. We talked about it. Oh no, the free kick. The free kick.
But like I
We
said,
talked about
he's
it.
one of the most humblest people you ever want to meet. He does anything that Andrew does. Or maybe it's
Come on, Brendan.
He doesn't do all the games for me.
One game.
He was one of my first instructors. And he was also a state referee administrator. He was the biggest pain in the neck you want to know. But he was an outstanding referee. He handled himself in the Hellenic League no problem, even though they tried to go after him. He always said, when you make a report, do not put your personal feelings in the report. And he was a fitness fanatic too. If you failed the fitness test by 1 meter, he would pull you off the list. Jack was the national chairman of the referee committee. And once you became a FIFA referee with Jack, you became part of his family. And you had to go beyond FIFA's expectations, never mind Jack's. Next. John Varys, another one of my mentors, and my closest friend, was one of my closest friends. He was like a second father to me. If it wasn't for him, I would never have been doing professional ball. Yeah, I never got the middle, or I never got onto the floor of the MISL, but I was on the line, I was on the fourth. And he taught me, and also Gino taught me, hey, Brendan, who cares if you don't do a middle? Are you doing professional ball? Yes, stick with it. Stick with it, and that's what I did over the years. And I worked with Jorge when he was coming up, and you know, and he got there, and I got there a different way. But what I'm trying to say is, John was always mentoring people, not just me, but other people. And he was also an undercover narcotics officer too, so you didn't want to mess with him. Jerry Corey, he was an amateur referee in the early years during the Umbro era, as I call it. And today he's like a commentator who's working for Sky Sports. He was an outstanding referee, along with.
I Scott.
I
knew him from the telephone ball.
No kidding. Typical fun Irish guy. He would drink until tomorrow, then he would do a game the next day. He was an outstanding. Like I said,
Why'd
he
you
was
look at
another
me when he
He's not Irish.
Noel
Andrew's
would
not
love to be
Irish.
here tonight. Free beer galore. But Noel had great people management skills. In fact, there's a picture of him and a player. I think it's very smiling. Everybody had a good time. And I think he was the referee of the year at one point, right? He was the referee of the year. No? He should have been.
He was very.
Yes, exactly. All right, next.
We're almost
Lee
done.
Sutton. Lee Sutton refereed the MLS in the official sports era. And even though his career was brief, he did leave a mark. And now today we all know where he's doing now, helping us out in his new position. But like I said, you got to help out your own. Lee can guide you to the proper way. Anything like to say? Also, he was my fourth official on the Dallas Cup quarterfinal. He still hates me to this day when I added 3 minutes of stoppage time. J.C. Rivero, he's now. He was a member of our association. He's now DAR, coming back from injury. Hopefully next year we'll see him on the field. There he is. We did a lot of games together. I had the pleasure of being the AR on the semifinal.
Hablas.
Speech. Yeah. On the 16th semifinal, Monterrey versus Chivas. That was so good. And also Santa Rosalia too.
Caribbean.
Also
Caribbean.
the Caribbean Cup. He's also did the final of the Caribbean Cup a few times. Well-respected, one of the well-respected referees, and he still does amateur bowl to this day. In fact, he begged everybody for some amateur games, and he got them. And he still represented his game to this day. Also, I had the pleasure of being his fourth official on numerous occasions. Brian Dunn.
Amen. Hey, let me say something about Brian Dunn.
Johnny!
Go speak.
Brian Dunn is an individual that doesn't come to these meetings. You guys hardly see him. But this man has represented Eastern New York to the highest level. Oh, yeah. He's been in MLS Cup Finals, MLS All-Stars, and goes unnoticed. But he has been one of the bright stars in MLS for many, many years. And I want to give him an applause.
Assistant referee of the year as well.
Robert Sabega.
Yes.
He also did the final of the Caribbean Cup, Cup 1 year. Outstanding job. Always did amateur bowl. Was always willing to help. He did very well in MLS. He did the All-Star game. And Jorge, anything else about Robert?
Well, Robert is an individual, another one that has represented Eastern New York very well. Robert, 2 years ago, was MLS Referee of the Year. And very unfortunately, that one of the playoff games, he got injured. And that took him off the field. He couldn't do the final, but Robert is an example of a guy that was old, got a break, and made it through the MLS.
True.
And he was another guy, great manager. He managed people very well. Another guy who managed people very well and represented Eastern New York very well. And
Still
a
does.
great referee and a great friend. That's right.
All right, so that's our history, and also we have Lucien Kamaj. We forgot to mention.
Thank you. No problem.
He's another one who did the semifinal in the Caribbean Cup. He did an outstanding job.
And don't forget Charles, he's a FIFA referee.
Right,
too.
Jeanette.
Yes, Senate. Okay? Senate, you are a FIFA. Okay?
Yeah.
And one more thing I want to add.
Yeah, sure.
This association, it was a lot of referees from other countries enjoyed this association. I think one of two from Colombia or Peru, one guy, a lady from Turkey. I think,
Yes, we also had- we also
Fatma,
had,
you know.
we
There
also
was a
had,
lot of, you know. And you know, I want to thank everyone who gave me a right to become a national referee. I think I am the one who said I become a national, I have no car. I thank everyone for you. I thank everyone. Teresa, Nino, when I remember first time I went to Nino's house and he has a Mercedes car, he said, Hossein, wanna buy? I have no car. So I don't have a driver license, you know. And
One day, man.
I thank Lee, George, everyone. I don't miss. Thanks Brandon.
Yeah.
He take me to Albany many times
Yes.
to, you know, to the games. Okay, and Vito. I mean, Cam, to everyone. Thanks a lot for
And
everyone.
also we gotta thank Mr. Field 74 Randall's Island, Tommy Martello, for always being there for us.
And we can also
Hey!
Andrew for his hard help. This year it was a pass. He lost his father, but he's still working to give us a game. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
As the report tracker, I'm very happy that we're at 95%. Let's get that 5% to 100. We've come a long way. Yes, I'm the biggest pain in the neck when it comes to that. Reason for my madness. You want to get better raises, right? Well, doing the reports in a timely manner helps that cause. By not doing your job, that goes down. So think about that. Don't be late. All right, go ahead.